All right.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, today is Monday, and we are so excited to be talking to you today. How are you feeling
Tuesday?
today, Patty? Today is Tuesday. No, today is Monday. It is Tuesday.
Yeah.
My Monday was a wash. Uh, so it's Tuesday. How are you doing today, Patty?
I'm good. I'm tired. I know you're tired also. We are both team no sleep for various reasons. But I'm super excited to talk to you today and, talk to our team out there. Thank you so much for you guys for joining us and having a conversation with us today. We feel so honored to be able to spend a little bit of time with you and share all the wonderful things that are going on.
Absolutely. And something super amazing. So today we're going to be answering questions live about our upcoming holiday guide. So if you have been following us on Facebook or Instagram, you've
Tuesday.
heard that we are creating a holiday guide featuring minority owned, women owned event businesses. And that means caterers, that means those who are making baking cookies, making cakes, from event planners, photographers. So if you are a female minority owned event business, we would love for you to be a part of this experience for us. This is super exciting. So if you have questions, you've been reading our Instagram, you've been hearing us talk about it. Today, we want to answer those questions and really just let you know how much fun it's going to be and how excited we are to even have this opportunity to work with you.
Absolutely. Iris and I, that's a big passion of ours to really support small businesses and in particular people of color, women of color. And so when we came up with this concept, we're so excited because we know that there's such talented people out there that we get to see all the time. But a big opportunity that we see is to connect corporations and businesses with these small business owners that are doing such amazing things. So we have a big network in corporate America and lots of different associations and all these other groups that are far from small businesses, if you will, and they want to celebrate the holidays. They want to celebrate their people. They need to figure out how to do it in 2020 since it's a different type of year. Obviously, we're most likely going to still be social distancing or definitely taking a lot of safety precautions into play. There's not going to be the big, giant, huge holiday parties, or if there are, we'll be really surprised. There's going to be a lot more micro parties, intimate gatherings, which is perfect for the folks that we work with all the time. Smaller vendors that we're not at the convention centers, filling up those types of events. We specialize, and the people that we work with specialize in making wonderful, intimate gatherings amazing. So that's really what we want to highlight. We want to bring visibility to these amazing event professionals of color and bring corporations along with the ride and help them to find you guys and book you out for the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. So many of you have been really kind of figuring out what's
Tina.
going to happen post COVID. But now that it's July and everyone's talking about the holidays, like this is a great opportunity for everyone to start figuring out what's their inventory going to be, what's their top sellers are going to be for the holidays. And we definitely want to have the opportunity to feature you. One thing that I realize is that, and Patty, you may say this as well, is when you get a gift, sometimes you can get a gift and someone just went to the big box store, put this in a wrapping paper and then hand it to you. But then there's those gifts that are so meaningful and so special and so sentimental. And I'm just wondering, what type of gift do you like to get for the holidays?
I mean, I really appreciate anyone that gives me a gift. As an adult, it typically comes down to the kids. And so when it comes to me, it's really nice to be able to appreciate that someone's even thought of me to give me a gift. But I know we were talking earlier about memorable gifts and things that you remember far beyond the time when you actually opened up the gift. And there's been so many, one of like just touching moments. And I know I'm a big box store retailer only because I'm a last minuter. And that's part of what we're trying to help people with too, is if you want those really cute custom gifts, you have to order in advance. But one of these really special gifts that I got was when I turned 40, there was 7 of us that lived together all throughout college, the dorms and afterwards. So we all turned 40, the same year. And the first one that turned 40, Jenny, put together this box and it was like a box of like, it was pretty much, it was pretty empty initially, but she sent it to the next person that was turning 40 and wrote a really lovely note about how wonderful it's been to be in each other's lives for all this time, and to add a fun memory or something special to the next person. And so everybody added like something that was from their personality, like a little memento or something like that. I remember my one friend, Lydia, who's an accountant, who's always been, she's the most frugal, but she's going to be the richest one out of all of us. I already know it. She's like amazing. But anyhow, so she put in top ramen, right? Because she was like, to remind us, she said something like, to remind us of where we've been. And then, to kind of like, remind us all of like how far we've come. So really meaningful and touching and lots of different things inside of it. But I think to that point, she took the time to think about it and everybody, passed it along. That was really special.
But you bring up a good point. You say you shop last minute, so you don't have time to really put a lot of thought into the gifts. And to really have a custom gift or really to make a lasting impression on someone with a gift, you have to really take the time to know what they like, and then also take the time to order it, to wait for it, make sure you have time to get it to them. So let's make a oath, Patty. This
Yes.
year, 2020, Patty and everyone that's watching, you are witness. Patty is gonna say she's not procrastinating this year, right, Patty?
What I'm not, and you're going to hold me accountable. And I have all these grand ideas of what I'm going to get everybody, and then I wait forever. So thank you, because there's so
You're
many
gonna
great ideas out there, and I need to do it sooner.
you're gonna start in August.
I am. Ooh, sign me up. Somebody give me a list of all your things that you offer, and I'll buy them.
So give us a thumbs up if you are gonna join me in holding Patty accountable for. Okay.
So what about you? What's a great gift that it's a memorable
Yeah.
gift?
Okay, so a memorable gift to me, just like you said, is something that someone really, it doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. It just has to be um, just me, something that says, you know me, you have observed me, that's what I like. And so I recently, we're all in quarantine. So I had a birthday in quarantine this year, and that was in June. And I wasn't expecting anything from my husband, the boys, friends, no one. And someone sent me this small box. I have it here still. It's a small box, and on the top it just says "thank you," and it has a handmade note on it. So for a lot of you businesses who have items and you package and give gifts, and you take the time to put personal notes on it, to put all little frizzy paper inside, someone like me loves that because I love the experience of like ungifting. And inside the box was all these little things that I love. So it was like little soaps and bath salt and tea and chapstick, and it was all organic. And that person just took the time to find a gift from a small vendor that was handmade, that was curated. Organic is also awesome as well. So that was the most memorable gift to me, I would say, this year, and she knocked it out of the park. So I felt special. Oh,
And feeling special is the key, right? I think that's that's why we love to gift, and that's the goal. So let's get started talking about how we're going to make a lot of people feel extra special this holiday season.
Patty, we both worked in corporate America, and the one thing, people would always say around the office is, we want to get a gift, either a retirement gift or some type of a gift for the people in the office, or even friends and family. And there's like, what do I give? What do I like? What will they like? How do I find someone that could make something that's special just for them? And I think the challenge is finding the people to make these gifts. So it's like all these small businesses out there that make these custom items. No one knows how to just, you don't go to the yellow pages. Everybody's not on social media. So there's different places that you have to, as a business, have to go to kind of market, and other opportunities to let people know where your business is at. And so part of what we're doing is to make sure that all the people and the corporations and the individuals that are looking for these unique items have a place to go to find them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, more and more corporations and businesses, and all of us, moms, everybody want to shop from our local community. And we are looking to shop for more people of color. And again, this is where, to your point, Iris, it's not as easy to find that. If you go to Etsy, you may, there's so much to see and to sort through. And, after you get past the first page, you maybe give up or you pick something. And, we happen to be in a community where there's a lot of sharing of really awesome things. And Iris, I'll say you, for example, the other day, we hit a big milestone with our site and she sent me flowers. How amazing is that? I love when I could see her, Kathy from Madre Florals, pulling up and like, oh, for me, like, I'll never get tired of that feeling. I'm the only girl in this house, so I know it's got to be for me. I'm pretty sure chances are they're for me. And, but knowing that we're supporting a small business, we're supporting someone that has a dream, somebody that is giving back to the community, all those things are so important. So the story behind the makers is just as important. So that's one of the things that we're excited to share with the guide as well.
And I think that, when you give your money back to a small business, you're really supporting families, you're supporting the community. So, for example, I had my birthday party. Like, there was no one at my house other than my immediate family. But we have these vendors that we work with, and I wanted to feel special as well for my birthday. And so I did the balloons and I had the cake, and we did all the stuff as if it was going to be a big party. And so celebrations don't always have to be for a large crowd, it could be just for your immediate family. And you create these memories and you create these photos by these wonderfully curated um, items that you can use for your party from these wonderful vendors. So we want to be able to connect you to the vendors, right?
Yes, we want to connect businesses, moms, to the vendors, and vice versa, for sure. So, so let's talk about the guide and what our vision is for that, and then we'll take questions. So as you have questions, feel free to type them in the chat, and we'll get to them. We have a couple of questions that we've gotten so far, so we can refer to those too. But just in general, our vision for this holiday events and gift guide is an online catalog. So if you picture an IKEA catalog that you might get around the holidays, sometimes, I don't know if it's holidays or at some point they send you something that's hard copy. This won't be a hard copy, this will be digital, but it'll be one of those ones where you can swipe through the pages. So it's very much like you're reading it. The first part of the guide will show some staged photos of scenes, holiday scenes. So we have several in mind, and we still have to narrow down which ones we're going to do. We're probably a little too ambitious. We want to do it all. But we also want to bring in culture. So that's why, it's hard just to say, like, Halloween without saying Dia de los Muertos, you know, and there's so many amazing vendors that we want to partner with. And so this is where we just have to like really manage what we can truly do. But on our side, we are planning, we have I'll start off, we have an amazing team that's going to help us pull this together. We have a professional photographer, where we have a graphic designer, we have a stylist, we have, and a lot of them I know are here joining us. So we're so thrilled to have you guys, this amazing team. We'll have a project manager to help us put the whole thing together end to end. We have a copywriter to help make the really cool, you know, sayings and adding in some special descriptions and even a recipe or two or things like that. So really professional guide that's going to be fabulous. That's what we are contributing to this guide. So you're going to get the final product will be something very beautiful, and you are going to also get a lot out of it in terms of other photos that are taken and all the social media and all that good stuff.
So the way that people can get their photos is, like you said, we will have a photographer, and it's going to be a styled shoot where we will set up the scene with your products. And so if you bake a cake, then we would have a cake there. We would have your cake featured. We would have flowers featured by a florist. And so we're bringing in all these vendors to create the scene. And so your item will be captured in the environment of this celebration and whatever that theme is, and then people can really see. And then what we've spoken with photographers before, to really sell your product is to make sure that they see your product in the environment or the party setting of which they're going to actually use it. And so we think that that's really great.
Yes, and so to that point, it's like product placement, right? Whenever we see it on a TV show, I think probably the Brady Bunch was the first to do it. I'm doing it now with my Shop Honey and Rose adorable T-shirt. So we'll be able to weave in products along with the amazing services that are going to be shown. But yeah, to that point, what Iris was sharing is there's going to be a scene. So let's pick a Thanksgiving scene, for example. We'll have rentals because we have, you know, not only the table, but maybe like the linens and the cutlery or whatnot. We'll have beautiful floral. We will have, you know, dessert. We'll have a caterer. And this is all, you know, and the few other elements, right? Probably some kind of every party needs some kind of a selfie area, something to look at, some beautiful decoration that everyone's going to take photos near. And so that scene itself will, you know, need several vendors to make up that look. And so this is where we want to give folks an opportunity to say, I love Thanksgiving. That's my thing. I have an amazing product that I'd love to, or a service that I'd love to share. That would be perfect for Thanksgiving. That's very much what I want to do. Or there could be, you know, something that's more related to Christmas or Halloween. So that's part of our matchmaking that we're doing right now. As you guys are volunteering to be a part of this styled shoot, we are trying to determine where might your service best match up. Where do you live? You know, we want to take that into consideration too, because we know LA is a huge area, and we want to try to bundle folks together that complement each other in terms of where you live. Again, people that are going to be going to this guide are going to want to book you and are going to want to, you know, probably book the people around you as well. So we want to make it as easy as possible. They're going to want to shop the look, as they say, right?
Yeah.
People want it to be easy. They don't want to have to figure out all the things. They want to book exactly what you are offering. And so that's why it's really got to be something that you think you can deliver over and over again, that you think is maybe one of your best sellers, things like that. You know, to expand on that, so if you picture a beautiful table setting, there's things like place settings that are, you know, a crafty type of a person that can create. There's also looking good, right? So there's, you know, other style type of things too. What did you say, Iris? I'm sorry.
The flower runner. I love
the floral for sure. A hostess gift, right? So there's different things that where we see a blend between events and gifts that we're going to try to showcase in each of these styled scenes. And we'll have several of those. And I love all the encouragement from the chat saying we can do it. We hope so too. But that's kind of the premise.
And I like Marisol's comment. She says, I better get my creative juices going. And that's essentially the essence of it, because now we're partnering. The way that things are going now, we're going to be having these celebrations in the midst of COVID. So there's so many new and innovative ways that people are finding to deliver their product, but also in the midst of COVID. So one thing that I've thought has been such a great idea is the charcuterie boxes. And so in the past, people would have the large charcuterie tables. And so maybe, you know, instead of doing the large charcuterie table, if it's not a close knit group of family members, is to have the boxes, the individual boxes. And so we could be able to feature those. And so if you have products that you're doing or you're offering in an innovative way because of COVID, we want to be able to not only feature your product, but also the new trends that are being adopted now that we're in COVID.
Yes. And speaking of that, so traditionally a business will either have a party on site for their holiday party, or they'll go out to a restaurant. And so we also are looking to do one of the scenes at a restaurant outdoors, because of course that's what we're doing right now. And things may shift, but we are anticipating that it'll be somewhat similar. So what might that look like? If we were at a restaurant, what are the things that you would still bring to make it look beautiful and fun? And that's a great one to incorporate different gifts, because you may want to bring gifts for coworkers and things like that. But you would make the table setting, again, look really fun and pretty. You could still do similarly floral treats, all the selfie area, like all these different things that would really make it look special. But with safety in mind. So maybe not everybody crammed at a table, just a few people. And then also, of course, featuring a restaurant that is supporting, minority women as well, or ideally that. So those, you can kind of get the sense of how we're creating different scenes that are going to really show people how they can celebrate the holidays. But we really want them to shop you guys. We want them to take that next step of clicking. So this PDF or this online catalog will be shoppable. So you can click on the listing or the item. Thank you, Iris. And it'll actually go to our website. So those of you that don't know, we have a website that we're launching. We're we have our first beta client that we're testing with. But our website is an online marketplace for the events industry, the event space. It's a place for anybody that's hosting a party to go and search by their date and their location and see who's available, and narrow it down in all different types of ways. We can talk all about that at another time. But one of the biggest challenges that we experienced in the event industry is there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of show me, what's your price, or how much is that? And then there's like DM me. There's a lot of secrecy around pricing. We can totally understand that, but from a consumer perspective, it's very frustrating. And that they're DMing like 5 other people, and they're just going to pick whatever they decide to pick anyway. So what we have to say to that is we would like you to create a listing on our site. They can shop through you directly as well. We have to have a way for them to be able to find exactly what they see on the catalog and be able to book it or buy it right there. Our site has a lot of functionality that lets you put, blackout dates and say I'm not available, and collect a deposit, all these things, all these bells and whistles. But the main point is that we have to strike while the iron is hot. When they look we want them to book right away. And make sure that we can complete that transaction so that they don't say like, oh, that's great. I'll look at that again later. Like, no, we want them to actually book right there. So the transaction part is really important.
And in addition to that, during the holidays, a lot of times you're busy. As a business owner, you don't want to always be boggled down with the administrative part of it. So it's creating these invoices, responding to all of the DMs that you get, responding to text messages, taking calls, and really not making all of those transition into transactions. And so we want to help kind of eliminate that back and forth that you have with customers and allow them to book instantly. If you are, selling an item and the way that it looked, you have a price and all someone wants to do is just book it and have a date, then that's already curated for you. It's already present it for you. And so we want to be able to kind of create the opportunity for you to just increase your volume of customers, really, maintain that great customer experience that you already have, but just create this more time for you to have an opportunity to take on more customers. So when the guide comes out, make sure that you are ready for an increase in customers, that you are ready to provide these opportunities because people are ready to celebrate. And I think 2020's holiday is going to be like no other.
Yes, that's a great point. We think that people have pent up celebrations in mind. Anything that I think we're just going to make a big deal about the holidays in general, because it's just it got these great feelings of better times, memories, all those things. And so, and in the situation that we are in now as a culture, we do want to support, again, people of color. And so I think it's a great opportunity to get this information in front of them, and allow them to buy from you and to shop from you. So we say, put your best pricing out there. Put out there like what you want to get. Don't be, it's always a challenge, right? We totally get that. And we are here to help with any of those conversations as well, just to help you. We're also big cheerleaders and confidence boosters. Like, we know that what you guys do is amazing and you should be compensated for it. So it's not a hobby, it's a business. I mean, for some of us, it's a hobby, but really this is the time to get those sales. So if you're going to be putting your pricing out there on our site or otherwise, put what you really want to get. And so that's really our goal, is to help you really have a thriving business, so that you can pour it back into your own family and your own community and just do amazing things.
I don't know if we've gotten this question or if you've heard this come up, but I know sometimes we'll be featuring multiple companies that sell the same type of product. So we may have someone that makes cookies in the Los Angeles area. We may have someone that makes cookies in the San Fernando Valley area. There may be someone that makes cookies in the Inland Empire. It's okay for your business and you to display your prices among other businesses. You are your business. You are the one thing that makes your business different, and your customer service, the experience that you provide your customers. And I think that if anyone is concerned about being featured in the guide with other companies that sell the same product, do not worry about that.
Los Angeles is a very, very, very big city. And there's the cat again. It's a cat, not a dog. She's our third coworker. She follows me everywhere.
She only comes out when Patty goes live.
She likes my voice. I don't know what it is, but she insists on participating. But yeah, so I'm in the North San Fernando Valley. Iris is in the San Gabriel Valley, like in the thick of it. It's really hard for me to, pick somebody that is far away. One, I want to support my local community, but there's a gal that does balloons that's really close by. She's a wonderful gal anyway, but it's like so easy for me to just reach out to Carla because I know that she's closer and it's an easy transaction. I know it's not going to be as difficult for her to squeeze me in. Not that I'm last minute or anything. But anyhow, we want to support our local community. So people are really looking like, oh, they're in Inglewood. That's where I live. I want to support them. And, there's just a lot of opportunity to go around. So yeah, to that point, and don't be afraid, I guess, to look, to be featured along with other vendors that do similar things. And we really also see this as an opportunity to elevate different types of vendors. So maybe you're a smaller vendor and you have not yet done something that's ambitious. Maybe there's a lot that you can learn from somebody that's very experienced in terms of supply chain, packaging, efficiencies, things like that, that would be amazing. And similar, there's mentorship opportunities, right? If you've done this a while, it does feel really good to help and support up and coming vendors that you never know, who you might need to partner with in the future. So we really do see it as win-win.
Yeah, and then being in the events industry, it's really a community. So a lot of times, if you have the opportunity to connect with an event planner and you provide flowers or you provide balloons, being a part of the community that we're creating is so not only that we can help you, but you can connect with others and you can help each other. And so it's really a community that we've been embraced in, and then we're also trying to pay it forward and also grow this community. So these women who have these great businesses and this great passion for what they're doing can come together and just take it to the next level with other women seeking to do similar things.
Okay, so should we get to some FAQs?
Let's go.
Okay. So one is, is it only women? Are we featuring any men? And it's not that we're intentionally, well, in a sense, we're trying to amplify women, but we also know that there's a lot of husband and wife teams. So as long as it's like a partnership like that, where the woman is, just as much an owner, if you will, as her husband, then totally. Because that's part of having like a home or having your own business is really partnering with the people around you and things like that. So we totally get that. But we're probably going to talk the most about the women in the organization. So that's just the caveat.
And that's for the guide. Our website is open to men and women.
It is.
Yes.
We'll still heavily feature women because that's just what we do. Again, we're trying to, in terms of like our marketing and things like that, like we'll do others as well. Again, we're not excluding that, but just again, amplifying the hardworking women. One of the things we talk about with Iris and I when we give our talks about what we're doing, and I'm probably gonna mess this up, but is it that Latina women get 54 cents to every dollar that a white man makes? I think that's the stat. And then Black women, I think, get 62 cents to every dollar that a white man gets. So that's just stats. Those are facts, so they didn't say how much Hispanic men or Black men or anything like that. That's what we kind of zero in on because that's us. That's, who we represent, but that's also where, again, we're trying to really bring more opportunities to our people and make sure that we are trying to close that gap. So you'll see a lot of us promoting those types of faces.
As we should.
Absolutely. Another question, do I have to put my items on festively? So that one, yes and no. You should at least have a single listing or at least get your showroom up on Festively. We call them showrooms. It's almost like your own Etsy page. It's similar to Etsy in that sense, where you'll create listings of your products or your services, your rentals. We have to have at least something like that. So again, for the click-through, but on our showroom, you can include your website, your social media, like all the ways to get in contact with you. So if you prefer to transact in a slightly different way because that's just not what you're comfortable with, that's okay as well. But ideally, again, our site, you can fully transact and all of that stuff. So it's just we want to make it easier for the consumers. Do you have anything to add to that, Iris?
No, that was great. I think you made the point is when people leave the guide, their click through is going to be to the Festively site. And so you want to have a presence on the Festively site so that people can easily find you. And one thing about making it easy for people to transact, you don't want them to have to keep click here, then go find you here, and then look here, and then go into this corner. You want them to be able to easily find you one or two clicks and then be able to transact. So to increase the opportunities for you to have transaction directly linked from the guide, you want to make it easier for them to find that item and purchase it from you. And our website is going to provide that for you.
Right. And it could also be, talking about our site. We love our site, so we have to talk about. But this could also be an exploration thing too. So maybe they click on you and they see you've got these cake pops and they're adorable, and they're like, oh, and they've got these other cake pops that are for New Year's or birthday or whatever. So it's a great discovery method for them to find your other products and services. So, okay. Also, someone had asked if they need to send in their own photos. The short answer is no. If you have something that you want us to look at in advance and say, this is what I'm thinking of creating or selling for the guide, that's always very helpful. For those of you who have already signed up for the guide, you should have received an email from us kind of just introducing what we're doing and letting you know more to come. If you signed up today, you may not have received that yet. But if you want to just reply to that and let us know like where your heart is, where you're thinking of offering, or if you want to send a photo, that would be great. But the photos we'll use for the guide are going to be taken by our photographer, so they kind of have a consistent look and feel. We mentioned that there will be the styled, I'm doing this to show like 2 pages, right? Like styled visuals of a scene. And then we'll do some close-ups, individual close-ups. We have our stylist that's going to do the flat lay, really pretty view. Again, we're going to try to make things kind of more bright and colorful. Again, our culture likes to celebrate, and we want to exemplify that with the picture. So they're going to be great. You're also, I think Iris mentioned this earlier, going to get the photos to be able to use for your social media. You're going to be able to use them to upload onto the site, as our Festively site as well, so that people can know what they're shopping for. So you'll get great use out of them, but we won't be using photos that you submit.
And I will say a professional photograph of your product or of your service goes a long way to making the sale. And so we want to make sure that, and that's why we're hiring, we're having a professional photographer be a part of the process, so that your product or service gets featured in the best way possible to help people eyes pop and say, wow, I want that. And then they'll immediately go into purchase. So.
Right. Another question was around timing. So when is all this going to happen and where? So we don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, right now,
yeah.
Right now, we're trying to make sure we get all of our list of vendors. And so if you've been getting emails from us or following us on social media, we are now having businesses sign up. So after the sign up process, we're then going to take all the businesses and group them into the categories. So we may have bakers, we may have photographers, we may have people that sell jewelry. So unique gifts. So we're going to take all of our confirmed vendors, and then after that, we'll confirm with our vendors, and then we'll start looking at their geographic locations. And so we'll start trying to group them together, and then we'll start scheduling the style shoots so that everyone can go to a location, bring their items, and then we want to do that in a timely manner because we want to have the guide out by
October 1st.
October 1st. So Patty shirt says ambitious babe. We're gonna make it happen. So
I'm gonna wear this 24/7 until.
Reminder. So once we confirm you if you are a vendor, things are going to move pretty fast. And so we're just excited that you even want to be on this journey with us. So thank you in advance.
Yes. And to that point, we have this project team, this dream team that's going to be working really hard to put the schedule together. And so we will need to know right away if, when we come up with the schedule, if those dates don't work, we need to swap people out or things like that. So communication is really important. We're going to be communicating primarily via email. So keep looking out for emails from us. As we have any updates or news, we'll be sure to keep you in the loop. But one thing I wanted to mention was event planners out there. You guys are like an extension of our dream team, like our core team, because Richard, my husband, actually kind of made this analogy. He said that he's like, it's like you guys are trying to do like not a sitcom, let's say, just a TV show, right? A TV show. And then you have episodes. So each of the scenes is like its own episode. And for each of the event planners we assign to each episode, so for example, the Thanksgiving episode, we want to give you the opportunity to come up with your own vision for what that scene would look like. So if you, I know we've spoken to one in particular that has a very big vision for the Dia de los Muertos scene. And so we would love to work with her to, I think her name's Anna, to pull all the, so we'll provide the vendors, right? The people that are going to help make the scene possible. But then it's like, what does that scene look like? What are we, what should we put? What should the treat vendors make? Or have that conversation around the same, having that vision and bringing it to life. Clearly, I'm not an event planner, so I don't know how to describe it other than like I bow down to the event planners because I know they've got like this really cool vision and they help to really bring it to life. So we are just so excited to be working with some talented folks that we know are going to really bring it.
Yay!
So those were the questions that we had lined up. I don't know if there's any other questions. I don't see anything else in the chat. But if you don't have a chance to ask them here, feel free to reach out to us again over email or direct message. I think we set our deadline for finding new vendors is August 15th, but we may even close that out sooner. So if you have anybody that you'd like to recommend to participate, please let us know. I think the link in our bio, in our Instagram bio is currently our Facebook link, but we'll turn it back to our link to sign up. We want to support as many women-owned businesses as possible. Even if for some reason it doesn't make it into the guide itself, we are going to be talking about you guys from now until the holidays. And that means, once the guide is done, then the marketing engine starts. So the PR, the campaigns, the, Google AdWords and all of the things trying to drive traffic. So we're really excited about it. And we want to make sure we give visibility to as many people as we can.
So we do have a question from Rosa. She says, what can we do to be prepared? And so one thing that you want to start thinking about, just as a business owner, what can you supply in high demand over the holidays? So if you have an item, let's say if you are selling flowers, what flowers are going to be readily available to you throughout the holidays? And so whenever you get ready for the style shoot, you want to make sure that that flower is featured in the style shoot so that people can say, I want that one, because you don't want to say, oh, that's out of stock. Or if you carry several products, you want to make sure that the product that you feature is the one that you're going to be able to supply in high demand. So, Rosa, whatever, I don't know if you want to chat what type of company you are. what type of business you are. But that's the idea, is to figure out what it is you want to market over the holidays for 2020 and what you can provide.
And on that note, the Marisol saying it's really hard with COVID. I'm sure from a supply perspective, right, things are not as easy to source as they were in the past. And that's something that we can, explain. And I think we talked a little bit about really trying to help people understand what lead time you're going to need in order to place these orders. Our site also actually helps people to do that. You can say, like, I won't take an order unless it's at least 5 days, 7 days, whatever your preference is, in advance, 2 weeks, because you know that you're not going to be able to fulfill it unless you have that time. So that is really tough. But the other thing is that I just heard a really great podcast yesterday. So we're going to send this to all of the folks that are participating. But it's all about how to prepare your products for kind of to scale. So maybe you've done more one-on-one or individual custom items. Are there things that you can do to either buy things in bulk now or start some of the prep now? So then the last thing you do is customize at the very end. It's got a bunch of really great tips. These gals did an awesome job describing ideas for small businesses. So we'll share that because I think that'll really help as well.
And the one thing about being a small business, people know there is limited supply. So you're not a big box. You're not going to have 100,000 or maybe 1,000 or maybe a large supply. So if you just let your clients or customers know how many of these items you have, it also creates a demand for you and your business so that people can order sooner rather than later.
So Tina's our project manager, and so she's probably Tina, we're going to get you one of these ambitious babe shirts. Don't worry. Yeah, Mary, definitely. And thank you, for your support. Mary is our copywriter extraordinaire and such a great opportunity for small businesses. Yes. Again, this team is going to pull it all together and do fabulous things. So, and we'll absolutely share it.
All right. Was that our last question?
I think so. Unless there's any last little questions, but I think we can wrap it up. And we have a way of saving this, and we'll share this also with the group. I think that we're also going to use our Facebook group a lot more to share some of the things. It's just easier to share things that are timely. And then I think it'll be also great to be able to connect businesses that are doing similar things. And maybe there's some economies of scale, that we want to capitalize on. And maybe it'll be also a way for us to share some behind the scenes photos and things like that as we get closer to it. So we're really excited about working with all of you guys, and can't wait to bring this to life. So,
all right. So I think we're going to say thank you for your time. Make sure you let us know if you're interested, if you haven't already signed up, and you know where to find us on Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. And happy Monday to you, Iris. Just kidding. We'll enjoy the rest of your evening with your families and get some rest. Have a toast to all of us. We're going to get to work. We're going to be incredible boss women over the holidays, and it's going to be awesome. So thank you all for your support, and we'll talk soon.